main story this lunchtime in Scotland today. An airman who murdered the mother of his child has been jailed for life. Good afternoon. Stuart MacDonald stabbed 18-year-old Laura Thompson in the neck after accusing her of sleeping with other men. This morning at the High Court in Edinburgh, he was told he'll have to serve a minimum of 11 years. Gordon Cree reports.
Stuart MacDonald was described as a control freak who was possessive and jealous and wanted to keep track of Laura despite their breakup. After a row on the 30th of May this year where he shouted she'd been having sex with other people, he stabbed her in the neck and left her bleeding to death. The next day, he turned himself into police and admitted what he'd done. At court today, Laura's relatives and friends were too upset to talk on camera, but told me they were disgusted by the leniency of the sentence. In a statement, the family said, "Laura was a special girl to everyone who knew her. We all miss her every minute of the day and are devastated we'll never see her again. She left a daughter, Millie, who can be so proud of her, not only for being her mum, but for being the beautiful person she was." Gordon Cree, STV News, Edinburgh.
Detectives have confirmed that a body found in a stream is that of missing Ayrshire grandmother. The body of 51-year-old Anne Brown was discovered near a farm in Dunlop, East Ayrshire on Friday. The post-mortem examination that followed sparked a murder hunt. She was reported missing along with her 20-month-old grandson John, but the toddler was traced a week later. The First Minister, Alex Salmond, met Lloyds TSB Chairman Sir Victor Blank in London today in an attempt to save Scottish jobs. Mr Salmond requested the meeting in order to put the case for Lloyds TSB keeping jobs and major offices in Scotland after the likely merger with Halifax Bank of Scotland. HBOS employs 17,000 people in Scotland at the moment.
What we were doing is basically putting the case for Scotland. I suppose everybody in the country would like to see HBOS remain independent, but we've got to prepare ourselves for that this merger is a likely outcome, not an inevitable outcome, but certainly a likely outcome. Therefore, my job is to get the best deal for Scotland under whatever circumstances might arise.
Police are making a fresh appeal for witnesses after a 16-year-old boy was abducted from his home in Edinburgh. The teenager was taken from an address in Clerbiston Place on Friday. He was then driven 200 miles to Cheshire and held hostage for 30 hours before being set free. It's thought he was kidnapped after a drug deal with which he had no connection went wrong. 4 of Scotland's private schools could lose their charitable status unless they admit more pupils from disadvantaged backgrounds. Hutcheson's Grammar in Glasgow, Merchiston Castle in Edinburgh, Lomond School in Helensburgh and St Leonard's in St Andrews are expected to be told they must widen their bursary schemes or face being struck off the charitable register.
Well, the issue with the schools is, as was widely anticipated, there was an issue about whether or not the fees and charges that they impose are unduly restrictive, and what we said is that at this point in time we think there's not enough access provided.
The number of people killed in fires in Scotland has risen by almost 40%, with alcohol a major factor in the increase. There were 73 fire deaths in the last year compared with 45 the previous one. Alcohol played a part in more than 40% of fatal house fires. In many cases, the people killed were unable to react to the smoke alarm due to drink, drugs, medication or medical infirmity. A new security zone has opened to passengers at Glasgow Airport. It's one of the largest search areas in the UK and is part of a £32 million extension. Our reporter Karen Greenshields has been for a look around.
This is the new look Glasgow Airport, and behind me the new state-of-the-art security search zone. From now on, all passengers leaving Glasgow Airport will proceed through here. This is one of the largest search zones in the United Kingdom. It's about the size of a football park, and it replaces the 3 previous security search areas. Airport bosses say it will make the whole departure system more efficient.
The main advantage really is flexibility, both for the passenger and for Glasgow Airport. It means that we can flex our resources and our equipment to make sure that passengers get through security as safely and as quickly as possible, really.
The security search area is the centrepiece of a £31 million terminal redevelopment. From now on, 70% of the airport's facilities will be airside, and that includes increased bars, seating capacity and restaurants. Hannah Greenshields, STV News, Glasgow Airport.
Well, that's the news. Now Sean has the weather forecast.
Change your outlook with your local airline. Flybe, sponsors of STV Weather.
A very good afternoon to you. Well, it's been a mostly dry and sunny start to the day, although I've noticed on the radar just one or two wee pixels appearing in the last few hours or so. So there are one or two wee showers out there, so we could see a wintry flurry or two around through the rest of today, although it still will feel very, very chilly out there. Then for tonight, dry and cold once again. Now let's see what's in store for the rest of this afternoon. And one or two wintry showers in places, but anything that sticks on lower ground will disappear very quickly once the sun comes back out. But for many of us, it will stay mostly dry. Temperatures just 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, what we'd normally expect around December and January. So yes, very, very cold for the time of year. Then for tonight, dry with clear spells. Temperatures down to around freezing or -1 degrees Celsius, so a touch of frost in places. Through tomorrow morning, the best of the sunshine in the east, more clouds in the west, turning increasingly damp across western parts later in the afternoon, with a little bit of hail snow in places as well. Bye-bye for now.
Change your outlook with your local airline. Flybe, sponsors of STV Weather.
Scotland Today is back at 6 with the latest news and sport. Join us then if you can. In the meantime, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Well, next on STV, could there be a real artistic treasure on offer in Dickinson's Real Deal?